Representative Alan Grayson is giving us a little bit of hope about Bernie Sanders' campaign moving forward here. He penned an article in Huffington Post titled Presidential Primary 2.0 is about to begin. And he explains how the Democratic primary has two very distinct, separate parts. So he explains there are two Democratic presidential primaries. One is almost over, the other is about to begin. The first Democratic presidential primary runs from February 1st to March 15th. All 11 Old South states vote in that primary. We have 2 states left to go. But Hillary Clinton has won every one of the other 9 by an average of 43 points. God damn, she crushed Bernie in the Old South. He continues, outside those Old South states, 12 other states also have voted. Bernie Sanders has won 9 of those races. Hillary Clinton has won only 2. And there has been one tie, which is Iowa. The average result in those 12 states has been a Sanders win by just under 20 points. Damn. So Bernie's winning pretty much everywhere else, and he's winning by a margin of 20. He says the net effect of this, Hillary winning the Old South by 43 points, Bernie winning everywhere else by 20 points, is a Clinton lead among pledged delegates of 223, specifically 775 to 552. That's the delegate numbers when you disregard the superdelegates, as you should at the moment, okay? He says, which brings us to the second Democratic presidential primary, Democratic Presidential Primary 2.0. It runs from March 16th through June 7th. It includes none of the Old South states because they all will have already voted. It includes all of the Pacific states and all of the mountain states except Colorado and Nevada, which have already voted. The biggest prizes are California, 545 delegates, New York, 291, and Pennsylvania, 210. Democratic Presidential Primary 2.0 elects a total of 2,033 pledged delegates. If Bernie Sanders wins those races and delegates by the same 60 to 40 margin that he has amassed in primaries and caucuses outside of the Old South to date, then that will give him an advantage of 407 pledged delegates. That is more, far more, than the current Clinton margin of 223. Almost 700 pledged delegates are chosen on June 7th alone. It seems unlikely that either candidate will accumulate a margin of 700 pledged delegates before then. So this one may come down to the wire. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a wild ride. Okay, now, understand exactly what he's arguing here. He's saying that Hillary's lead is a little bit illusory because the lead was mostly amassed just in the Old South states, where she won by 43 points on average. That is a crushing margin of victory. So she basically cushions her lead by doing that in the Old South. And then everywhere else, not only is he a favorite, he's an overwhelming favorite. So you have all the Old South states going and very few of the other states going. And in the other states, you have Bernie Sanders winning nine of the contests, her only winning 2 of them. And when Bernie wins, he wins by an average of 20 points. So what Alan Grayson is saying is, all you need is the math to stay exactly like it is right now. If the trends stay exactly like they are right now moving forward, then Bernie Sanders wins. That's a very uplifting message. It really is. And again, remember, he's using logic. He's not like, okay, but he needs to win and then do this thing which he hasn't done, which he's not capable of doing, and we've seen no evidence he can do. No, he's saying just keep everything like it is. Moving forward with the demographic makeup of the different states, Bernie Sanders has a very good shot. And that's why he says there's 2 separate presidential primaries. And also, think about just the luck factor for Hillary Clinton. It just so happened that the Old South states went first. So it gives her this aura of invincibility that isn't really true. But that's the only potential downside with Grayson's analysis, which is it omits what's called the bandwagon effect. which is if you have pundits on TV and in mainstream media constantly harping away that this race is over, it's over, Bernie should drop out, Bernie should drop out, oftentimes the population is not politically astute enough to know that that's kind of bullshit, so that might suppress turnout. That might make it so people say, fuck it, I was going to vote for Bernie, but now I'm not even going to vote because it seems like it's over. Or there are some voters who were leaning Bernie but are like, I'm going to go vote for Hillary because it looks like she's going to win anyway. And even if you have a little bit of that bandwagon effect, Bernie's in trouble. Because he can't afford a little bit of that bandwagon effect, because moving forward, he needs to win, on average, I believe it's 58% moving forward. So he can't afford even a little bit of a turnaround here. And if the media narrative actually works and is pervasive enough and it permeates the minds of, the voting population, then it is over for him, and we can say that. But if everything just holds steady and the exact same trends happen moving forward, then he wins. So it's really nerve-wracking, to be honest, because, we're all sitting here like, oh my God, does he still have a shot? Is he going to win? Oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And honestly, both arguments are strong. The argument is strong for the bandwagon effect already happened. He's already been ruled out. The media narrative is too strong, and so turnout will be suppressed, and then he'll lose moving forward. There's a strong argument for that. But then there's also a strong argument for, or not, maybe the numbers will stay exactly the same, and Bernie will continue to win, with an average of 20-point margin of victory moving forward, and then he would win overall. So we'll see. But, as I said, guys, look, I don't want to give you the false hope. I want to be grounded in realism here. Alan Grayson makes a fantastic argument, but just know that I still have Bernie at 30% to win the nomination, because he can't afford any more mess-ups moving forward. He can't afford, like, whoops, well, I got blown out in that state. Well, okay, then it's over. What are you going to do? Unfortunately, that's the end of it. So I still have him at 30%, but, I mean, the happy aspect of this is that 30% is a real 30%. It's not like I'm just saying 30, but it's 15 or 10. No, it's 30 because I think it's 30. And Alan Grayson is saying, the path is pretty clear, and I just explained it to you. He wins all the states that are not in the South by an average margin of 20 points. So if that just happens moving forward, okay, he's got it. So we'll see. I'm sure all you guys are on the edge of your seats.